Well, joining us now on the show is the member GST at the CBEC, Mr. Mahender Singh. Mr. Singh, appreciate you joining us here on CNBC-TV18. If I could start by asking you to give us a status check of what the numbers currently stand in terms of filings and in terms of revenue, sir. Because I understand that there has been a great deal of concern raised both by the Revenue Secretary as well as the CBEC chief about non-filing. So if you can give us a sense of where things stand at the end of 100 days of the GST rollout.
First of all, I would like to say that we have successfully implemented this big reform in the field of indirect taxation, and we have successfully completed 100 days of the implementation of the GST. Although I would also like to say that there have been many challenges in the implementation. It's on such a humongous scale that these challenges were bound to be there. But we have been continuously tackling these challenges, and we are happy that in future we expect that the rollout will be smoother. As on today, regarding the figures of returns, for the month of July, about 55 lakh taxpayers have successfully filed the returns of 3B, which was introduced for the taxpayers because the GST are 1, 2 and 3, which are regular returns, were deferred for the time being. So for the month of July, the figure is around 54 lakhs. For the month of August, about 46 lakh taxpayers have successfully filed the 3B return. The regular return, which is GSTR 1, that figure as on today stands around 40 lakhs for the month of July. And today is the last day. Through your channel, actually, I would like to request the taxpayers to file, those who have not filed the GSTR 1, kindly file it today by 12 o'clock midnight, because in case the taxpayers are not filing these returns, their purchasers, their buyers will not be able to take the ITC credit, and they will have difficulty in doing business under the GST regime.
And there's no extension at all?
So that is the latest figure. For the month of, there is no extension. For the GSTR 1, the window closes 12 o'clock midnight today. So I'll again request all the taxpayers, those who have not filed the GSTR return, to kindly file the return by today 12 o'clock midnight, because in case of default, they'll have difficulty in transacting the business. Regarding the revenue, for the month of July, as you are already aware, we collected our 90...
Yes, go ahead, sir. 95,000 crores.
We collected our 95,000 crore. For the month of August, we collected around 92,000 crore plus.
Let me address each of these issues, Mr. Singh, and let me start by asking you about the filings, sir. July 55 lakhs for the 3B, August 46 lakhs for the 3B, GSTR 1 as of today at 40 lakhs. Now, both the Revenue Secretary as well as the CBEC chief have written to state commissioners as well as to GST commissioners to try and ascertain why we've actually seen a decline in the numbers and why the numbers are not as per the government's own estimates in terms of filing. What do you believe is the key reason there, sir? The Revenue Secretary has asked for a survey to be conducted. Give us a sense of what you believe is the problem in terms of why people have not been able to file.
We are trying to ascertain from our field officers what are the real reasons for not filing the GSTR returns. But basically, we think about 40% of the taxpayers are filing nil returns. So maybe smaller taxpayers who actually are not transacting any business during this period and they have to file nil return. Maybe they are hesitant, maybe they are IT related issues, but we are in the midst of conducting this survey. Our field officers throughout the country are conducting these surveys. They are trying to contact the taxpayers, what are the real reasons, but preliminary estimate is that I think they have not done any business and they are filing nil return. And in view of the difficulty in filing returns regarding the IT related issues, so that must be the reason. But revenue is not likely to be affected much, because most of the big taxpayers, they have already filed returns for the month of July as well as for the month of August.
So let me just pick up on the revenue figures, sir. You said 95,000 crores for the month of July and August 92,000 crores. There is a decline between July and August. But that apart, can you give us a sense of what the number will stand once you, adjust it for refunds, etc., to segments like exporters?
Well, we have not given any refund till now.
Yes.
But I'll be happy to announce here that the refund to the exporters, which was for the month of July, will start getting processed with effect from today.
Okay.
The refund for the month of August to the exporters will start getting processed with effect from 18th of this month, after 8 days.
Okay.
So we have finalized elaborate system of granting refund, which was held up for the time being, and I'm happy to announce this is a big Diwali relief for the exporters.
Yes.
That the refund, which was stuck up till now, they'll be able to get the refund now.
Well, that is certainly good news for the exporting community, sir.
So
but
this might, yeah.
Yes, go ahead, sir. You were saying?
Yeah. So far as revenue is concerned, we hope to get more revenue in the coming months because the filing of return is getting stabilized now. Earlier there were IT related issues. As you are aware, the GST Council has set up they have constituted a committee to look into the IT related issues.
Yes.
The committee is headed by the Honorable Deputy Chief Minister of Bihar and consists of 4 other honorable members of finance of different states. They have already held 2 meetings in Bangalore to address the IT related issues, and I'm sure the issues which were really plaguing the issue of filing returns and other IT related issues will be taken care of in coming months.
Mr. Singh,
and we hope that more and more taxpayers will be able to file the returns in time and pay more revenue.
Right. If I could ask you, sir, what is the situation in terms of revenue shortfall to any state, and how much have you collected by way of the compensation cess both for July as well as August? If you can share with us if there is a revenue shortfall for any state and any state that's seen a significant shortfall, sir.
As you are aware that the government of India has promised that revenue shortfall of the states will be compensated by way of compensation cess. I don't have exact figures with me, but I can assure you the compensation cess which was collected during the first 2 months was more than enough to compensate for the revenue loss of the states. Revenue loss.
Any state in particular, sir, can you share with us, maybe not the number, but can you share with us the states that have seen the highest revenue loss?
I don't have state-wise figures actually, but it was not much. And there was by and large shortage of all the states, but not any significant. And we have actually some surplus compensation cess which we have collected in the first 2 months, and the states have been compensated for the first 2 months.
Okay, that's good news, sir. Let me then ask you, sir, what we can now expect by way of further rate revisions, because the GST Council in its last meeting also revised rates for some items. Our understanding is in the 28% bracket. We could see further revisions. Give me a sense of what we should now realistically expect in terms of further rate revisions, sir.
Right from the beginning, there has been continuous demands from various sectors regarding rationalization of rates. Some of the sectors, some of the taxpayers, some of the trade and business associations, they have been demanding reduction of rate. This is primarily due to the fact that in the earlier regime, the central excise duty and service tax was not visible on the invoices. Only the VAT was visible, 12% and 14%. Now if they see 18% to 28%, the first response comes the rate has been high, but it is not the fact. The rates have been fixed by the fitment committee comprising of the officers of the central government and the state government, and all the empirical data has been taken into consideration while fixing the rates. The rates have been approved by the GST Council. But having said that, The representation which have been continuously been received by us, they have been considered. And on the 1st July, GST Council had reduced rates of 66 items. In the latest GST Council meeting on 6th of October, the GST Council has reduced rates in respect of 27 commodities and 12 services. So whatever the representation are being received by us, they are considered, they are taken into the fitment committee.
Okay.
They consider the empirical data and various other issues related to those particular commodities, and if they find suitable, they recommend reduction of rate and rationalization of rates, which are taken up in the GST Council meeting, and if the Council considers proper, the rationalization reduction of the rates is carried out.
Okay. Mr. Singh, so given the fact that you continue to see representations for rate revisions, and as you pointed out, 60 in the last meeting, 27 in the meeting that happened on the 6th of October, what happens then in terms of your maths? Does it continue? Are these rates now revenue neutral, sir, still?
Yeah, by and large, they are revenue neutral. But this also shows that government is not very rigid. Government is always willing to listen to the trade and business concerns, and whatever the issues are raised to the government, we continuously examine those issues. We have detailed deliberations on those issues, and wherever it is found suitable, then we take the path of rationalization of rates. This is an elaborate exercise, but the officers of the CBEC and the officers of the state government are participating, and they consider all aspects related to the particular commodities, and only then they make recommendations which are based absolutely on scientific evidence.
Okay. My final question to you, Mr. Singh, it is a mammoth exercise, sir, and it is not an easy exercise by any stretch of imagination. Besides getting people to comply with the new regime, sir, what has been the #1 challenge in terms of execution and administration so far?
As I already said, this is the biggest tax reform in the independent India in the field of indirect taxation. It's a humongous exercise. For the first time in the country, the central government and governments of the states are joining hands together to implement this big tax reform. There are big challenges. There are challenges relating to IT. There are challenges relating to rates. There are challenges relating to law and procedure, because this is a new law. But I can assure you, the office of the central government and the office of the state government are prepared to face these challenges, and we are continuously in touch with the trade and industry. We are getting the feedback from the common man, from the consumers, from the trade, industry, and all these considerations, all these representations are discussed. They are examined, and we are taking corrective measures, and we are continuously improving. And I am sure in the coming months, GST will be a grand success, which will be beneficial to the common man, which will be beneficial to the trade and industry, and our country will progress in leaps and bounds.